What is going on, guys? It's Knives here, and today we're going to find out which licorice paper is better. Recently, my review from 2 years ago, January 2022, of these Rizla Rich Liquorice papers has been getting a lot of views, and I genuinely don't know why, but it did bring to my attention the fact that I got gifted these Juicy Jay Liquorice papers. A lot of people seem to like the Rizla Liquorice papers. So I was curious to find out which one is actually better. Now, there are the obvious differences: the brand, the length, and the purpose that it was designed for. Obviously, these are cigarette papers, hence why they're short, and these are joint papers, because everybody knows that you roll Juicy Jays. You roll Juicy Jays? You roll joints out of Juicy Jays. You don't roll cigarettes out of them. Well, you might, but it's common knowledge that they're used for weed, not really for cigarettes. And these, you can use Rizlas to roll reed. You can use Rizlas to roll reed, but you might want to use them to roll weed. And I've done that. That video was filmed 2 years ago, January 2022, and these are still in fact the same papers. This is the exact same pack of papers from that video, so I've not been using these. In the same vein, I've only smoked one of these licorice papers. I used one for the paper test in my... It wasn't really a review video. I guess it kind of was, but it was just part of the advent calendar videos, so I smoked one of these. In my opinion, it was shit. I remember these ones not being bad, so today we're going to pit them against each other and find out which one is better. And also, if somebody wants to tell me why all of a sudden the Rizla Liquorice video is getting loads of views, please tell me, because I haven't seen or heard anything about the rise of licorice papers. I genuinely don't know. First, we're going to roll up the Rizla Rich Liquorice, see how easy it is to roll, see what it tastes like on the gum strip. Then we will roll up the Juicy Jays. Same idea, see how it rolls, see how it tastes along the gum strip, and then I'm going to spark them up and I'm going to smoke them both at the same time, see which one tastes better. The flavour on the gum line for the Rizlas, don't really taste anything. Flavour on the Juicy J gum line, little bit more there, but still not really anything there. Okay, so here are our two cigarettes. This is the Rizla, this is the Juicy J. Obviously, this one has more paper on the end. I am going to get rid of that before I smoke it, but just for now, so that I know the difference between the two. Juicy J has paper, Rizla doesn't. As far as the taste on the gum line, both of these were pretty shit. The Juicy J did have that little bit more licorice flavour. It didn't really taste like licorice, but it had a little bit of sweetness on the gum line, whereas this didn't have anything. These papers I bought, I think it was either December 21 or January 22. I assume it would have been January 22. These papers I was gifted December 22, so they're about the same age. The Rizla was far easier to roll than the Juicy J. I don't know why that is. I think just because a smaller paper is easier to handle, just for me particularly, whereas the longer paper, it gets a bit fiddly. Both of the papers are pretty thick. Not quite cardboard standard, but definitely thicker than your standard. I don't know, I was going to say raw, but I suppose if you roll them with Rizlas, it would be probably the same, probably a little bit more thicker than a red Rizla. And red Rizlas are fucking awful to roll with, so yeah, use your imagination. Gonna do a paper test, obviously. Juicy J, Rizla. It does smell like licorice now that these papers are burning. I don't know if that's to do with the way that I lit them, but they're burning very, very slowly, I will say, but also very, very unevenly. And there is a hell of a lot of ash being left behind. Both the papers are still burning, don't know if you can see it, but very, very clearly you can see all of this white, grey, black ash being left behind. That is not a good sign. I don't know how much you can see there, obviously because of the pattern on the tray, but it looks to me... Obviously the Juicy J paper is bigger, so that's going to have more ash. But it looks to me like the Rizla is burning a little bit whiter than the Juicy J. The Juicy J ash is grey, the Rizla ash is white, but on average I would say they're producing the same amount and colour-ish of ash. So I've gone ahead and cut the tip off the Juicy J and off of the Rizla, put them next to each other. These are pretty much identical. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference just on looks alone. Bro, it actually stinks in here now. When they started to burn the papers, it had an almost pleasant sweet smell of black licorice. Now, it smells like burning rubber. It stinks. There's a hint of licorice smell in the air, but it's mainly fucking horrible burning rubber. Not good. So, first up, for old time's sake, I'm going to spark the Rizla. The most recently I smoked a licorice paper in general, not, you know, a Rizla or a Juicy J. It was, in fact, a Juicy J. Was in my advent calendar video sometime in December, probably the 20-something of December, so it's been over a month since I last smoked a licorice anything. I'm not looking forward to this, I can tell you that right now. I don't remember these being awful, but just on that smell alone, I don't want to smoke it. But yeah, this is the Rizla first. Cheers. First hit, a little bit rough, no licorice taste, a little bit of paper. Second hit, perfumey, floral, tiny little hint of sweetness on my lips. I can't even really taste my tobacco in this, it's just all floral, perfumey paper. So far, on the Rizla, no flavour, just paper taste. I'm going to put this down for a second and spark up the Juicy J. The first taste of the Juicy J was not as unpleasant as the Rizla. Not as strong of a paper taste. It is not anywhere near as floral or papery tasting as the Rizla. A little bit of paper taste on the nose exhale. I can partially taste my tobacco, but again, no real licorice taste coming through there. So far, Rizla, Juicy J. Both the ash looks really white, but that is because of the paper and whatever's been added into the paper. You can tell that it is the paper stuck to the ash rather than the tobacco ash itself. I'm going to take a hit one after the other just to get the taste. Rizla. Papery, floral, harsh, a hint of sweetness, but not really any licorice in there. Juicy J. Tried not to cough that. Not as papery. Nowhere near as papery. A hint of sweetness. And I can actually taste my tobacco through this. I'm really trying hard not to cough that. At about the halfway mark, I didn't think I would be saying this, but The Juicy Jay is winning. That was not pleasant. No, that was not nice at all. It tastes like burning cardboard. Not nice. No, don't do that. As a fan of black licorice, somebody who enjoys eating black licorice, this does not taste like licorice. It's not enjoyable. Granted, it's old and it's been open for a while, but like, I've got Juicy Jays from way back when I first started smoking in 2018, and they still taste like something. These are just not very good. The Rizla has gone out. The Juicy Jay is still going. The Rizla was easier to roll, I will say that. It doesn't taste of anything, or if it does, it's very slightly sweet with the faintest hint of licorice in there. It burns fine, it burns slow, that's a positive. You're not going to get much licorice taste from this. It overpowers the taste of your tobacco, so if you're wanting to actually taste that, this will not be the paper for that. If you're wanting something that will go together, as in the tobacco that you put inside the licorice paper will complement each other and bring out the best of both, this is not that. This will overpower the flavour of your tobacco. It tastes like paper. The paper taste is strong on this one, like I said earlier. It's kind of perfumey, kind of floral. It's probably from the dyes in there and the flavouring that they're trying to put in there, but I'm not an expert, so don't take my word from it. All I know is that the Rizla Rich Liquorice does not taste like licorice. It will burn very slowly, but just overall it's not a pleasant smoke. Over to the Juicy Jay Liquorice. This paper, it's not much better than the Rizla, let's be honest, but it is better. I genuinely came into this video thinking that I was going to shit all over this, because I already have shit all over this in the video. I didn't watch the Rizla, the Rich Liquorice Rizla video before I made this one, so I can't remember what I said in that one. It was 2 years ago. All I remember is I think I gave it an alright rating, but now I'm not going to do that. This Juicy Jay, I openly do not like Juicy Jays. I openly dislike them and talk about disliking them pretty frequently, while still also smoking them infrequently. I know I'm a bit of a hypocrite, but you know, just get over it. I go against my own advice, it's fine. The Licorice Juicy Jays, they taste very faintly of licorice, very, very faintly. Don't go into this thinking that it's going to be amazing, because it's not. It's sweet with the slightest hint of licorice. When they're burning, they do smell like licorice, but they also smell like burning tar. So that's not good. Rollability on the Juicy Jays is not the best. I don't know why I find the smaller Rizlas being easier to roll than the longer Juicy Jays, because they are the same texture, consistency, you know what I mean, sort of thing. They feel the same thickness, they're the same sort of thickness. I find that rolling with the longer, stiffer paper, it's harder, because when you move one bit of it, the entire paper tends to move, instead of with the thinner papers, they're more malleable, more fluid, if that makes sense. The Juicy Jays with the long and not being very malleable because they're too thick, it's just not a very nice rolling experience. The flavour on this, the Juicy Jays, I've got to say that it is better than the Rizlas. The Rizlas taste floral and papery and just not like licorice at all. The faintest hint of sweet on your lips, but it's not licorice. It tastes like flowers and paper to me, and it's not very nice. Whereas the Juicy Jays, still not very nice, don't get me wrong on that, but they don't have the heavy floral papery taste to them. It's there, but it's not as bad as the Rizla. The the taste is a little bit sweeter. You can taste it more on your lips and more in the smoke than you can with the Rizla. Still thick, still, you know, it burns slow, but it's not nice. I know that it's burning slow because it's just full of shit, not because it's decent quality. I'm rambling and I can't get my thoughts straight because I've just smoked 2 cigarettes back to back and I'm a little bit buzzed, so I'm gonna jump into the rating. Holding both my hands up here, I came into this video expecting to shit all over the Juicy Jays because I do not like them. Do not walk away from this video thinking that I am recommending it. Wow, I just glitched there. Recommending you go out and try Juicy Jay Liquorice papers or Rizla Licorice papers. I'm not recommending that to anybody, but I expected these to be good, and they weren't. I expected these to be bad, and they weren't. These, the only real win, that doesn't make sense, think about it. The good things about the Rizlas, rollability is easier. Just, I don't know why, smaller paper for me is just easier to get it. You get the tuck and you get the roll and you lick and you just boom, go. Whereas with these, hang on. If I throw together a filter real quick, I can try and show you what I mean by the whole paper moving as one rather than being able to be, the thinner papers are more fluid. I'm going to try and show you what I mean right here. I'm not going to be able to do it properly, but you'll kind of see what I mean. Obviously, this is the Rizla. In fact, let me do this. That is the size difference of the papers. I know it's not very easy to see, but that's the Rizla right here and the Juicy Jay. You can fit the Rizla in the middle of the Juicy Jay. It's bigger. So with the Rizla, you put your filter in. I've just very quickly rolled this filter, so it's quite big. It's not tight, but you'll see what I mean. You put it in, and you would, you know, tuck and roll like that, and it goes together super easy. I mean, you just saw how easy that went together right there. So yeah, that's how that would roll. And then when you grab the Juicy Jay and you put the filter in, I don't know why my hands are so shaky, but they are. When you move it, okay, well that just happened really easy there, but when you've got your tobacco in there and you're trying to shape it and move it about and stuff, it's just, I found it harder to get the roll in. Maybe it's because I didn't put enough tobacco in there to get the full cone and it was harder that way, but I found this harder to roll. I forgot my train of thought, but let's just leave it at this, right? The Juicy Jay Liquorice are better than the Rizla Licorice. If somebody can tell me why all of a sudden that video is popular, I would love to know. Is there, like, I don't know, some celebrity smoking these so people are looking them up? I have no idea. I'm just genuinely curious. But anyway, gave me the idea for this video, and surprisingly, the Juicy Jays win. The Juicy Jays come out on top. I don't know if there's any other brand of licorice rolling paper. If there is, drop me a comment, let me know, and I'll try that out as well. But for now, let me know which one you prefer, the Rizla Rich Liquorice or the Juicy Jay Liquorice. Obviously, you know which side I'm on. Not that I'm going to be rolling a licorice joint anytime soon. But yeah, leave me a comment, leave me a like, subscribe for more videos. Peace.